Thank you. Now, the release of the Bengali book at first, Homecoming and the Other Short Stories, a collection of short stories published in 2020 that has been translated into Bengali by noted journalist Mr. Ritik Mukherjee. Can we have the release of the Bengali book, please?
Madam, video করবেন? Sure. বাপু ভিডিও করবেন?
Homecoming and Other Short Stories, a collection of short stories published in 2020, now being translated into Bengali by Ritik Mukherjee. The next book is the other best-selling book, Apprenticed to a Himalayan Master, a Yogi's autobiography that was first published in 2011 and was an instant hit. It has been translated into Assamese by Mr. Anjan Sharma. Thank you so much. We move to the next section, an interesting conversation with 3M. He will be in conversation with Mr. Ritik Mukherjee. Ritik Mukherjee is a postgraduate of economics from Calcutta University and has a vast experience of more than 30 years in journalism, and he has had successful stints with the Economic Times, the Financial Express, Business Today and Hindustan Times. He has authored many books in Bengali and has received the Kobi Shotin Dr. Memorial Award. Ladies and gentlemen, a conversation with the Guru and Sri Ritik Mukherjee. Ritik sir, you will take over from here. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family members. I deliberately said family members because I grew up in a very large joint family, and majority, almost part of my life, I spent in large family, where many of them I hardly used to see for days together, but still they were my family members. As I sit here and look at you, I see this is a large extended family, and I'm privileged to sit with the head of the family. So it's on behalf of all of you I will be speaking to him. It's not just me, but all of you will speak and ask whatever the question is. I will ask on your behalf to him, and he has kindly agreed to answer. To just set the ball rolling, let me kick it off with some on the basis of an anecdote. Those who are from this part of the country must have heard of Shankar Monishankar Mukherjee, the famous author. So he once told me, see, both you as a journalist and me as an author, we are like word churners. We go on churning out words every day, millions of words. So this is the common part of us. But there is a difference also. I said, what is the difference? He said, the difference is you as journalists, you put fictitious stories in real life characters. Whereas the authors, they put real life characters and extrapolate some of the fictitious stories into them. So as I know, Sir also has been in the movie for a brief period of time. So maybe I will start off with when you write this book, is it real life stories or the real life characters?
I wish I could speak in Bengali. So, and the other thing is there are many people from France, many people from Kerala and cutting across, so also better to speak in English. Hindi will be both aram se. No, but we will be talking. Better. So the question that our friend Ritvik asked, when you write, what was it? Cooking video. My problem is that when I wrote my autobiography,
Side please.
my autobiography is something that I wrote from my heart. Okay? So one good friend of mine, he's quite old, he said, since I know you so long that you don't tell lies, so I believe this autobiography. And if it was somebody else, I may not have read it. And when I wrote my Shunya, which is a fiction, and also the short stories, some people ask me, is this really fiction or is it non-fiction? Translated into fiction. What I want to say is, there is a thin line that separates fiction and non-fiction. Very thin line. Suppose you want to talk about Ramayana, you can put it in one single sentence. That Sri Ram, Sita lived together, Ram took Sita away to Sri Lanka, and Sri Ram went and brought her back. Finished. But is that what Valmiki wrote, or is that what Ramacharita says? So, even the truth needs to be put in words where people grasp and attract it and understand what is being said. So, sometimes there is something called poetic license, but it should not move away from the truth. This is very important. Fiction, that doesn't, because in fiction, very often people don't like to read facts. This factual world itself is terrible. We don't know, we want to change, we have entertainment, we do various things. Some people meditate on the spirit within. Some people meditate every evening on the spirit in the bottles. It goes on, right? Because we don't want to face the truth. So, therefore, people like to read fiction rather than non-fiction. Of Harry Potter, how many people read Harry Potter, how many young people read Harry Potter. So what happens is, why do you read fiction? Many facts of life which you would not have thought of reading in non-fiction are presented in the form of fiction. So that the thing is storytelling. Even if facts are told in story form, they might look like fiction. In this collection which you have, so I haven't read it because Bengali reading is a little difficult. But since I know you, you know me for so many years now, I'm sure you would have done justice to it. All the stories are facts and also fiction. In the sense that all the stories are based on certain facts which have been exaggerated for the reader to sit down and read. This is what I found. And storytelling is a very important part of our tradition. The great Vedas compiled the Vedas into 4 parts. He wrote the Mahabharata. There is even a commentary on the Yoga Sutras written by Vyasa. Then he wrote a wonderful text called the Brahma Sutra. Now the Brahma Sutra is so difficult to understand. It's a pure Vedanta. How will you understand something that starts with Ataso Brahma Jijnasa? Narada always comes. He heard Narayana. Narada said to him, "You look a little distraught. What is the matter with you?" So he said, "Well, I have written all these books. There is something missing. My heart is missing." So Narada said, "Write the Srimad Bhagavatam. Describe the adventures of the Lord from the beginning to the end in as colorful terms as you can." So he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. Then his heart opened up. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of stories. Small stories. Of all the avatars and all the manifestations. Through the stories, it presents the truth to you, which is so difficult to be presented by something like the Brahma-Sutta. It is the same author. See? Yeah. However, people think it's some stories to be read by old people who retired as a name. In fact, I know a very senior police officer who got a Bhagavatam copy and presented it to his father. And he said, "Why are you giving this to me? You should give me when I'm retired." But it's not so. Bhagavatam is something that one should start reading regularly. Age. So why I'm saying this is that storytelling is important. Look at Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna. So many little stories he used to demonstrate things which great philosophers could not understand. Right? Jesus Christ used parables to put in the exact things which he wanted to people to. So in a way I have tried to do the Buddha, Gautama. And in a way I have tried to do that in all my fiction, but not in my fact. Since I am an artist by nature, so you might see something nicely described because both of them come from my heart. So my suggestion to people like you to translate is keep the heart very much intact. It need not be just
Word to word translation.
yeah. It need not be word to word. For instance, however much you try to translate, you say in English, it will not convey the same effect, for instance, like Hindi or our languages, Bengali, Assamese have not much touch, but I'm saying difficult to convey. But we should try our best to do that. Since you are proficient in both languages, I'm sure you can. Yeah.
I just overheard when you were speaking to the media persons outside, you said that you prefer to be known as an Aam Aadmi, not the politician Aam Aadmi party, but Aam Aadmi as in common man, and people should know you like this only. Notwithstanding that, people have the highest regards for you as Guru, Babaji or whatever. So does it in some way stand in the way of portraying facts in a novel or in the form of short stories? Because maybe the so-called gurus, they are not supposed to say so many things, but while translating Shunya and Homecoming, I found there are things which you have candidly and you are very upfront in saying things and portraying things and incidents.
The only thing that I can say that the real spiritual teachers are there who have touched the truth. They need not behave like somebody who is completely sitting somewhere up there. There is no need to do that. If you want a perfect example, we are sitting in Kolkata. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Thakur. People, you know that he was almost, you could just kind of sign his name. In later years, so many people from all walks of life used to come and sit with him. Great people, writers, artists, actors. And he produced somebody like Swami Vivekananda. It was all his work and written. Of course, Swamiji has his own credit, I'm not saying discrediting, but he molded this man into what we know today. That when Swamiji was asked in England, if you are like this, can you describe your master? For 2 minutes, Swamiji just kept quiet. He didn't know what to tell these people, how to explain to them. And finally he said, a speck of dust from those divine feet could have created 1,000 living animals. This is what he said. And he said, I have nothing more to say. If such a person, if you look at his life, how simple it is, just, you know it, you live it. M's book is there, of course, the Gospel, which everybody reads so popularly. That end. And then Shardananda's biography there. There are many books. Of course, I'm sure it appears better in Bengali because it is originally written in that language. Even if you read another language, it's so touching. This man is so simple. He is not pretentious at all. I don't think even afterwards when he became well known, it had any effect on him. Because he had touched the truth. When you touch the truth, you become simpler. You don't become more complicated. I don't believe that. Yeah, people might come and touch your feet, and whenever somebody touches my feet, I think in my mind that I am also touched. Because if I touch their feet, they will think something terrible is going on. So I want to tell you just 2 stories. One is, there was a gentleman who used to visit Sri Ramakrishna often. He could follow all that he said, but there was one problem. The problem was he could not control his sexual appetite. Lust. That was his problem. And he was wondering how to ask this pure man. He's so pure, what I can't even say that word to him. How can I ask him how to get over it? Went on for many days. One day he saw Thakur standing on the banks of the river. Alone, nobody was there. He was holding on to something. He was standing. He thought, let me finish this business. I should ask. So he went to him and he did pronounce. And he said, Thakur, I want to say something. And he blurted out. Okay. My lust is not under. What I have to do, please help me. He was shocked. He was in tears after the reply came. Thakur put his hand on his shoulders. And he said, you know what? At one time I also was. So, whoever we are, we all have to pass through this season. So, we have to, some years back during the Walk of Hope, when we had the Patyatra, I went to Rome for a few days. I cut the walk and went to see the Pope. And he said something which I always remember in my mind. He said many things, but one thing he said every saint has a past, and therefore every sinner has a future. So you must think of other people as divine. It may be manifest or it may not be manifest, but what is our problem? If you see the light in everyone, then everyone is worthy of worship, right? Why should there be somebody worship only me? So I keep that in mind, so that one doesn't get caught up in the circus. Circus will happen, because wherever there is some nice scent coming, the bees will gather. It will not matter. We, on our side, should be careful. We shouldn't start projecting ourselves as this guru, that guru, and things like that. In fact, I want to write something in the Satsang Foundation website that I have no successors as of now, and I have not proclaimed anybody as my successor or disciple, and therefore don't believe a word. I don't want people to create wrong impressions, and it happens. When a person goes out, somebody says, oh, I am. So, did I answer your question or did I go off? Do you want to ask?
taking a cue from whatever you said from your experience of meeting the Pope. Every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. But while going through or translating your book, Homecoming, I found there are characters where some of them got a chance to be forgiven and start anew. And then there are others who were penalized. So, how does one make a distinction between who is to be penalized or who is to be forgiven? Because there are characters like the thief who got a chance to meet that old lady who gave him a chance to start a new life or the life anew. And then there are characters who also were unscrupulous and did some mischief, but they were penalized at the end of the story.
So, I don't think penalized is the right word to use. Sometimes when in life we get bad experiences, we are punished for what we did. Yeah? But nobody can draw a line and say that for this you will be punished, for this you will be rewarded. Nobody can say that. What I am trying to say is it doesn't matter to punish or rewarded. The movement will be towards perfection. It doesn't matter. There are hundreds of people, they think differently. They may think of the same thing in a different way and act in a different way. There are some very simple people who suddenly come when you are having breakfast and talk to you. You can't discard them, right? They are simple people, their mind is simple. They think if I touch this man, that itself is a great blessing. Now, on the other hand, you know that I myself was physically assaulted by people at some point for various reasons. I don't want to take up the reasons, I don't want to go into politics. It happened. Did I feel hatred towards them? No. In fact, I made sure that it did not. In fact, I made sure that I was not provided security, because if I am provided security, it will be a message that I don't like this happening. Babaji has some work for me to do. Till that work is over, nobody, even if he puts a bomb into my mouth, can kill me. There is time. I have this time and I can do it. When I finish that, then I will go off. I mean, what is the point of hanging around here? Sorry, I'm not saying it that way, but in fact, I'm thinking maybe I should find some place near Ujjain or somewhere, so nobody knows where you are. You know why? The moment you know where you are, people know where you are, they will build a samadhi. And then they will say the samadhi is speaking to me. They may put words in my mouth which I don't utter. And all kinds of things can happen. You know, because it is easier to handle a person who is dead than a person who is alive. Yeah, if they say something that I said, and I will say no, but that image cannot say anything. Right? So, I'm going to, at some point, write a notification. I'm not, nobody is moved. Spokesman, asana. If I find somebody, it's different. So what was the question? My mind works in different fuzzy logic. It doesn't go straight in linear, unfortunately. In fact, some people, parents come with their little kids and say they suffer from attention deficiency, ADS. I said, I have been an ADS person from childhood.
There's a character in your book also.
Yes. In that particular story is about a dim-witted genius, right? So this is about like Ramanujan. Did not go to any big college institution. Later on, of course, he went, but he used to receive his all his mathematical, advanced mathematical formulas in his mind from a different source. Of course, he worked on it and cleared it. It used to come. So, I think when you say dim-witted person may not be an unintelligent person. A person who has read everything may be an unintelligent. This is possible. The great Upanishad called the Mundaka Upanishad. Somebody goes to a great teacher and asks him, what is knowledge? So the teacher says, Sonaka, teacher says, knowledge is of two kinds. There is the higher knowledge and the lower knowledge. This is from Shruti, from the Mundaka. Then he says, so can you tell me a list of the lower knowledge so that then I will look for the higher knowledge? You will be surprised. This is the Shruti, I am not saying, I am nobody to say. The list of lower knowledge, Apara Vidya, starts with Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda, and so on. We are brought up thinking that this is what we should need, this is the higher knowledge. So this guy gets confused. So he says, then what is higher knowledge? What is Paravidya? The Rishi says to him, Paravidya is that which leads you to the truth. Which means, not that you shouldn't read, if you don't read Mundaka, how will you know that it is written there? So it's not to not understand or not to read or not to study, but to know that if it does not lead you to the truth, it is a scholarship. So people, I know who chant, who can chant anything by heart. But does that mean that there is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa who did not chant anything hardly, but who really went? So, I am trying to make a difference in that story between a person who you think is an idiot, may not be, and a person who you think knows everything who may not know. The Upanishad says, he who knows knows not, and he who knows not knows. Now how do we look at this guy? In Kerala, we have the story of a person who was actually a great avadhuta, a wise person, an avadhuta spiritually, but he behaved like a madman. So he was called Narayana to Pranda, a madman called Narayana. So also the distinction we make between mad and sane has to be looked at carefully. Many people who we think are sane are completely mad. Otherwise this world won't be like this. And some people who we think are mad are actually very sober. They know exactly what is happening. If you read the lives of some avadhutas, you'll be shocked. They will be madmen. Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, if a madman comes and is searching for food in your waste bucket, be careful. He may be the Paramahansa, who knows? So, I hope I am answering.
So in Shunya also you have portrayed a character who is somewhat like this. Maybe another innovative talented person who so knows everything but calls himself Shunya as zero. So these characters often come and you portray. Is it easier to portray such characters and then say so many things, because you can put so many things when you have already portrayed a character who is Shunya?
Yes and no. Shunya, if you read it, you will find. You know why I wrote Shunya? One day Babaji looked at me and said, if the world that we have today is the result of 1,000 years of sanity, it is better to be insane. This was in my mind, working. So then I thought, let me present a character who is mostly like, it's a presentation of an avadhuta. An avadhuta is a person who has broken all norms of society. You cannot imitate an avadhuta, please. Can't say tomorrow I will also become Sri. But they are. They break through everything and there are no rules, no rules. One problem is, with such avadhutas, you cannot go and say, accept me as a disciple. And they won't say, I am your guru, this won't work. Because they are talking a different way. So, Shunya is actually a presentation of an avadhuta, not on classical lines, but a little different. And I based it in Kerala because I am more familiar with that area. You can't write something if you are not familiar actually with the place. You can't place Shunya in Manhattan. You know Manhattan only when you go on a holiday or walk or maybe for a talk. But you don't know really how it works. But I know this village in Kerala. There is actually a village. Ask some of the people who have come. And there is a toy shop also. And he lived in the backyard. Rest is my story. So this is why I presented that. Now if you want a personal experience of a man who is like a madman but was a great saint, it is there in my autobiography. When I was a boy of 9 years, one of my father's very elder cousin, who was interested in all these matters, unusually, because in his family they thought he's a nut. He took me to a place called Vajreshwari. I was 9 also. He told my parents that he is taking me to his house to learn self-defense and non-combat. He was an expert. Instead of that, we took, in those days, we took bus and train and various things from Kolkata and reached Apprenticed. And there, I had no idea why I am here or what is happening. We went, I remember that there was a big board, it said Kailash. And people were standing in a line. We were about to get crossed over. They said tomorrow. Next day, we went. Not many people that time. We went inside. There on a slab, there was a man sitting. Think that, stone slab, granite slab. He was huge mountain of a man. And I look, I'm wondering, what am I doing? He's just sitting there. Huge, big-sized, completely black, totally shiny man sitting in there. And people are going past. Some people are saying something. Nobody knows what he's saying, probably. I don't know what he's saying, which language is coming from. I was also pushed. First my uncle went. He said to him something, go, something. He went. Then I went. He looked at me. I got very frightened. I was only 9, formidable to me at that point. And then he unexpectedly raised his right hand and gave me one slap. This slap was so strong that I fell down. I got up from there crying loudly, not knowing why they brought me to this. I thought this is a madman. Why is he hitting me? What is it? Anyway, they took me, my uncle took me and he looked after me. We returned after 2 days. Chapter was forgotten, but deep down it was somewhere in my memory. What is this? 19, I went off to the Himalayan. I was with my grandfather. 6 months after I left, he gave me a practice to do, which he said will open your Ida Nadi. You know, in yoga we have 3 nadis, main nadis, there are many. Ida, Pingala and Sushumna. So your Ida Nadi has to be open. It is blocked, so you do this one. So I did it for 6 months. Then I went back to him and said, Babaji, is it okay? He said, Aviti. Then I thought, I wanted to sound intelligent. So I told Baba, he has son. So Ida to ठीक हो गया. I wanted him to know that I am aware of this. Pingala to ठीक हो गया. Ida का क्या होगा? I thought it was a wise question. Baba ji laughed and said, वो तो नित्यानंद ने पहले ही कर दिया ना साथी. How do you explain? how to explain what is the connection? He was surprised. He said that slap which ये थप्पड़ तुम्हारा उसमें तो तुम्हारा इलाज ठीक होगा. पिंगला तो मैंने अभी ठीक किया. So when such people act, you would think it is meaningless, but there is a lot of meaning. There is some connection, something is there.
This story is there in your journey continues.
Also, it is there in the
Journey continues.
somewhere I put it down.
I keep telling people after going through Shunya that Shunya is like almost like an epic figure. Like Ramayana and Mahabharata, Shunya has all the elements that one must. I keep telling people it's a must-read book because it has got all the elements that one comes across in one's life. And then also there are some kind of way outs also. So these I am not saying as someone who follows you and regards you or have had. Thank you. But as a journalist, I find it quite strange that in many of your books and writings, you come down heavily, basically you lash out on the so-called Guru Bad or Guruism. Although Bad in Bengali means eliminate or to do away with, but otherwise it means ism. So in many of your books, even this Homecoming, there are some gurus against whom you have, there are stories, yes. So, is there a dichotomy or how do you also have a large phone?
It's like this. How did Adi Shankara give out a method to discover the truth in Vedanta? How? He said, eliminate all that is false. And the technique adopted in Vedanta is making. Not this, not this, not this, making. At the end, you are left with something which cannot be taken. That is the truth. Right? In the same way, if I feel that something is not okay, and if I don't eliminate, how will you find that which is true? That is the only reason. I am not against anybody. Everybody may have some role to play in somebody's life. I agree with this. But unless I learn how to shift, I won't be able to catch on to that which is true. That is my only intention. There is no other intention. So therefore, sometimes I come down hard upon some. I have not mentioned any names, believe me. I don't want to. Because it is unnecessary. People have to think and find out for themselves. So I do. My approach is basically to understand the truth. You don't have to have any hanky-panky. Recently there was this young man called beer biceps. Yeah, they were talking to me and I made a Rudraksha. Right. Why did they do that? Yeah, almost. It was there. So why did they do that? I did that because I wanted him to understand, all the people who are living, that you don't have to be God or a God man to do this. I told him, you come 3 days with me, I will teach you how to do this. You need not be a Paramahamsa or somebody to do it. Right? This is why. So it was shown to eliminate, not to attract. You know what I'm trying to say. These are all little things that anybody can. Nobody can perform things which PC Sarkar can do on stage. What is the big deal? That is not important. This is something else altogether. That was the reason for it. So I keep presenting this view to people so that they eliminate what is false and move towards what is true, what is not to criticize it. Because even if you criticize, those who want to go somewhere will go. What is the point?
Why is it that sometimes or most of the times people think that one day I will come across my guru, he will do all the sadhanas, all the hard works, spend times in Himalayas, and then I will spend my own life and my guru will take me out of everything.
That is not my experience. I was made to work really hard. So I think
Talking about common.
so I am saying people should work hard. Yeah, you will get guidance, you will get blessing, all that is true. But there is one section where you have to put in your effort, otherwise it is meaningless. Right? Now, if you say somebody was a terrible fellow and then one day he went to a spiritual teacher and within one day he changed, there are such cases. He may not have done any previous. That simply means that this guy has done lot of sadhana in his past lives and so on. Nothing happens without a cause. But the cause and effect are very interrelated. So if this guy, you see him suddenly coming easily into it, that means he has done a lot of hard work before. You may not know now. Now he might have lived in a horrible life. But those he must have done. And this horrible life also sometimes he has to go through. We call it horrible, enjoyable life. Because he can enjoy and be free of it. The Tantra principle, Bhogo Yoga, yoga through Bhoga, really not to have Bhoga and it will become yoga, that's not the meaning. It means enjoy, because most people cannot totally withdraw. Very rare for people to do that. So normal person, what do you do? Enjoy, but keep this understanding firmly in your mind that this is not good. So that you know. Otherwise, you know what happens sometimes? You are going full speed, full throttle into sadhana. In the end, just before everything collapses and you reach the goal, some sensation will come and obstruct it. If you had already experienced it, then you will not be stopping there, you will move forward. This is why they say that. Not that Tantra is not midnight orgies and cremation burns. This is not Tantra. If you want to understand Tantra, you have educated audience, I am telling you. Educated by God and non-believers. I am telling you that if you need to understand what Tantra is, please read a book, unfortunately, or fortunately, written by a foreigner. There was a great person called Sir Arthur Avalon, who wrote under the name of Arthur Avalon, who was a judge of the High Court in Calcutta. He was an Englishman, and he studied the Tantra. He got so interested that he resigned, he left, and he continued to study. And he wrote these books, which one book, if you are interested in Tantra, real Tantra, to read this Introduction to Tantra by Sir John McGraw. That was his name. That's right. Sir John McGraw wrote a beautiful Introduction to Tantra. I don't think in English anybody has written it. It's actually, and then he wrote the Shat Chakra Nirupana, which he titled The Serpent Power, which is Purnananda's text called Shat Chakra Nirupana. Purnananda was from Bengali. He wrote a complete exposition, an introduction to the science of Tantra connected to the Kundalini. And Arthur Avalon translated it as The Serpent. So these two books, and then he has translated many Karamala, many. So go into Amazon. Today Amazon is there and Google God is there. Gee, go and check and find out how to get these books and read them. Then you will understand it has a bad name, because I've got a bad name. You see that there is nothing like that. It's a different approach to reality. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa went through Vaishnava Tantras. He was taught by Bhairavi Brahma. He went through everything and he said, okay, I've seen.
If you allow me, I would also like to, this thing which keeps coming to my mind every time I read one of your book. You have also portrayed some of the politicians who, be it in Shunya, be it in Homecoming, in fiction. And in reality also, you keep meeting them, many of the politicians go and meet you. So while portraying these characters in fictions, when you meet them in real life, how difficult is it, or how you handle them, or do you also pinpoint to some of the points which are mentioned in your fiction?
You know, I incidentally come across people who are in political power. It's not deliberate. Look, somebody is a politician. Please remember that politician is also a human being. Please remember this. That we have all shortcomings, the politicians also have their shortcomings, but it's a power game, so they will use certain parts and they will not use other parts. It's all the more reason that people who are spiritually involved should have some connection with them in some way. Not for your self-glorification or anything. So that they are human beings, they also need that. They also need to understand that there is another way of life. It may influence them. If it influences them, you get good results. Right? But politics is like that. Today, no elections are fought anywhere in the world without money. Can you do that? You cannot. So you can't blame only one person. It's all like that. And all human beings have some political leanings or the other. Not sannyasis. Sannyasis are not supposed to. And I'm still not a sannyasi. So it's like that. Yes. Can I say that I want to meet some political person? Can I say no? I don't want to meet. Nothing will happen to me. What harm can you do to somebody who knows that you knock the body? Nothing can happen. But that way, what's happening? I'm closing the gate for them to learn. Right? I'm closing. I cannot close the gate. I should keep it open no matter who comes. I'm hoping that something will trickle in. And please don't think that all politicians, everybody is bad. It is not like that. Who are politicians? Human beings? They are not human beings. We are all human beings in some way or the other. So, I don't avoid, but I don't overthink. I try to attract and get something. This I do not do, because I don't like it. If I have intrinsic worth, then Babaji wills it will be rewarded. If he doesn't want, then it's okay. We are not going to. This is why I keep the channels open. Oh, and since you said politics, let me tell you, this is not a political statement. In this great universe, there is no arm army, all are special armies. Not a party. All are special. Why special? Because in every human being there is a spark of the divine, and it is manifested little bit or more. Nobody is ordinary. I do not consider everybody as ordinary. All human beings are special in some way. And if they want help, I am ready to help them no matter who they are or where they come from. Babaji used to tell me, there was a man, you see in Thakur's life also, there was a man who used to come to Babaji, who was well known to be a Gunda, from the first order. In Uttarakhand, I won't tell you where. And Babaji used to be welcoming him and talking to him and giving him laddus to eat. he said, I know for sure that you cannot turn one hair black and white on. This I know, my experience. So why are you entertaining this guy? He said, okay. He said, when do you go to a doctor? When you're sick. Huh? So then if you don't give attention to the sick, then what kind of a doctor are you? He said, he needs. Where will you go? And you give attention. And that's by some miracle he is free of all diseases. So,
in one of the short stories, we have also used one metaphor, first story, for instance. But in the rest of the story, there is no scope for metaphor. Except partly probably in this Comanche thing, there are certain elements of metaphor. Do you think that it's easier to get connected to metaphors through videos of the targeted group, or it's better to say things upfront or more candidly?
it's, some things are better said directly, some things is better explained. I can't drive a black and white dividing line. Some things only metaphors can be. Some things have to be directly told. And the highest truth can never be told, it can only be a metaphor. How can we define or say something in words which is beyond all definitions, beyond all description? So we can only use metaphors and say it is like this or it is like this. This is why the Vedantin used the term meeting, not this, not because of any negative feeling. So sometimes metaphors are required. One shouldn't get mixed up with the metaphor being the reality. Metaphor is required to point the word towards the reality. So where required, I do use metaphor. I don't know how much is used in this book. You see, for me, writing fiction is not a relaxing exercise. I am trying to bring actual facts into a fictional mode. It is actually harder work than writing facts. Not work. Because you must make sure that what you are trying to say is expressed properly in story form. I do use metaphor, I'm sure, in some places.
First story is a metaphor. Do you think that whatever doings or wrong doings we do in this life, that gets accumulated in the next life? Because you mentioned some time back that maybe whatever you are getting now is a reflection or outcome of whatever you have done in your past life. So it gets accumulated? Or?
Let me tell you this. There is no effect without a cause. Any effect is the result of some cause. Right? So if you see something in this life, which you don't see anything in that person's this life, there must be a cause in some other life. This is what I am trying to say. Now, if somebody says that, oh, you don't know anything about, okay, fine, I can't prove it to you. I cannot put past life in a test tube and say, oh. But for me, past life is a reality. It's not imagination. I know it. That's my reality. So therefore, I think that anything that you see, good or bad, whatever it comes from something in the past. Don't ask me how it all started first, because nobody knows. But as it is there, you have to deal with it. You can't ask, for instance, why is there gravity or where did it start? But gravity is there, right? So you need to deal with gravity. Somewhere these lines of karma have started. Millions of years ago. And they have continued. And we have been given an intelligence also to sort out things and move forward. Sometimes we go wrong in our judgments, we fail. The results are coming. If it doesn't happen in this life, it happens in the next. The problem is, the danger is, is a reality, I know it. But the belief in past life and to believe that there is only one life, there is one little problem here. If somebody thinks that there is only one life, they try to do everything in this life and finish it off. If you think in the next life, then you say, okay, next life I will become spiritual. Like in China at one time, the British made sure that they became opium addicts. They came to such a lazy state that they gave money as a loan. That fellow doesn't give it back, next some other life will get him back. Does that work? In this life, no, it doesn't work. So, yes, whatever effect we have has a cost. And therefore, if you see an effect in this life, it will have a cost somewhere. You may not know it, but it will. All that we can know is the present. This is the ground which is given to us. If you act properly there, you show discrimination. Then in the future, your life will be. If you don't, in the future you will burn. It's like promising everything. You vote for me, I will bring everything for you. You vote and then nothing is coming. What do you do? Can't do anything.
Promising the moon and the
But that is how it works. You promise the moon. And now I get very worried when gurus start doing this. There is a shortcut. In 3 days you will become there. I say if somebody says that, avoid, run away. Not going to work, waste of time, waste of money. They will also ask you to sign checks. So,
if every effect has a cause, Ritti Mukhabandha translated your book, I translated your book in Assamese. Are we connected with you in the past?
either you are connected with me in the past or you are connected with Babaji in the past. Could be both. Because he wanted everyone to know all that I have. And he has connected two of you. So, not only, there are others also who have translated. So I had no idea that he was going to translate first. Believe me. After he started, I started looking into this. You didn't know you at all before you translated. Somebody is working on this. That's what I'm trying to say. I can assure you that in our past lives we have not met. But that doesn't mean that we don't know each other. You might be somewhere in that circuit. I can, if I say I have met you in my last life, you will be very happy, but I don't want to. So now we have met.
I read Ramakrishna Paramahansa Pathamrit. It was Sri Mo, and you are familiar with Sri Mo. And Sri Ramakrishna Pathamrit was sold almost 3 lakh copies in 1983 from 1st February to 16 March. Within 1.5 months, it sold almost 3 lakh copies. So I read Ramakrishna Pathamrit long back. Then suddenly this book came to my hand, Sri M. So I have seen some similarity with Sri Mo and Sri M. And after reading, I think that I should translate it. So I connected Million Police people. Guruji gave us permission. After translating it and after doing all DTVs and proofreading, those 2 persons came with me from Guwahati. I gave them 2 copies. And they told me after finishing that Sri M is reading this book in Assamese. Those 2 people from Guwahati. And after publishing this few copies in my hand and Guwahati's, district magistrate and one special judge. They bought 10 copies. ये बुक हम लोग मिठाई का डब्बा के रंगीन करके बर्गर में देगा और on behalf of them, on behalf of all other, I invited Sri M to Guwahati for the first time. And this book, actually this book is the beginning of a new chapter in Assam and Northeast. That's why overwhelmed. I feel blessed, and I just want to know little bit of Nagloka.
Now this Nagaloka is something which is attracting many people. One thing I can tell you, whatever I write in my book, I write only what I know. Right? So, just think about this. In this vast universe, is it possible that there is only this speck of dust called the Bhuloka? See, and even if you use ordinary, in this complicated, huge thing that you have, can it be that there is life wanting this? I'm just saying. We know that there are many lokas. Nagaloka is only one of them. It's not, there are many lokas where there are different, we always, oh, how can they be like human? They are not like human beings. They are different. And the people say there is no oxygen. They are not oxygen breathing people at all. They may be breathing carbon dioxide. What is our problem? They are built like that. You understand? So in Nagaloka, which I know for sure because I have had some contact, there are ancient beings who had once upon a time contact with our world physically. They used to travel frequently. They used to have contacts with our world. Now that has gone. They rarely do. The atmosphere has become such that they don't feel comfortable. But that's all. Therefore, they meet great yogis and have discussions with them. They are shaped like nagas, generally, but they have the capacity to plant. Now this will sound like fiction. And they are like Nagin movie. And their shapes in whichever way you want. And this is, if it was fiction, it has come out of fact actually. And the present cobras, the hooded serpents that we have in this world, they are a degenerated leftover of those beings who had contact with us. But even then, try as much as possible not to kill the cobra. Because they have been our teachers at one point. You will see the Naga symbol in all great teachings. Shiva had a Naga sitting on we have Kundalini, which is the invigorating energy that is there, is also represented by that serpent. And Mahavishnu sleeps hooded serpent. He is not here, so that's not coming. So, no, we have something for us. So, all these things are connected and linked to the world. Those who can leave the physical body and go in the subtle bodies can discover. But it is not easy to go. Coming back to what you are right.
How does it feel to be in a place in your current life that you had visited in some of your past lives? Some kind of rewinding of the past life, what you used to do coming here. Does it happen to you or?
Yes, happened. I haven't come here in this auditorium once. That's all. I have no other connection. But yes, When I go to a place like that, I remember something, but that doesn't mean that I should talk about it. Julie doesn't like me talking about past life. So I keep quiet.
I wish we could go on like this, but due to some paucity of time, which we always have, you want to ask something more?
Once you have met one old person who threw his dandi in the river when he was small, and then your Babaji told him that all knowledge are things of past, truth is present, truth is eternity. Who was that person, and I want to little bit know about that.
I'm not supposed to say this, but he was a very senior monastic member from Orthodox Sankraman who left. But Swami Rama was headed only a small offshoot of that. This was the main. And he decided to leave it. So now they are called Bengali Swamis. People who are initiated directly from the Sankraman path, they only carry the Dharma. So he was a man who left the Dharma. That means he had unused to eat to that became only that much I can say. But he was from a very orthodox lesson.
As I said, I wish we could go on like this for hours together, for days together. Let me read it from the one of his books actually. The journey continues. I do sincerely hope that our journey together with all of you and with Sarah will continue in the days to come. And together I think we will move along the path which is shown by Sarah. Always and every time, and the time to come.
Is there no interaction with the audience?
Sorry?
Is there no interaction with the audience?
No, this time I think we are not going to have. Unfortunately, not this time.
What we can do next time, have only interaction with the audience.
Audience meaning the
On behalf of the organizers, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sri Lanka for being with us here today. Our special thanks to Mr. Ritik Mukherjee and Mr. Anjan Sharma for their time and contributions. Mr. Devashish Nath from Kolkata for school coordination of the event. Our other thanks to Sri Chakraborty and Aditya Narayan Banerjee and his accompanist for a wonderful musical presence. I also would like to thank the local team of volunteers, Mr. Abhishek and Mr. Shuklovo, Mrs. Priyanka Biani, Mrs. Sangeet Kothari and others, the media team from Satsang represented by Ms. Shani Jacob, Mr. Mahendra Borana for all his help and support, and above all, we honestly from the bottom of our heart would like to thank the audience for your generous presence and precious time. Can you have a big round of applause for everyone in this auditorium? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That brings us to the end of this program. Have a wonderful night ahead. Thank you.